You can't solve your financial problems with the same kind of thinking that caused them. These words will change your reality because poverty can't survive in a dough chaser's mentality.
The Beat Majors.
So to all my dough chasers, it's time to get this party started now.
I like it.
With your host, Jason White.
Yo, what's up, Dough Chasers? This is your boy, the one and only, your friend, Jason White. I want to thank you and welcome you to another episode of Dough Chaser TV. I'm your host. We're going to be talking about why you need to get your financial house in order beginning today, okay? And the subject is based off of an article in the Wall Street Journal that I'm reading. You know, I find myself going through it, time and time again. And I felt like it was important for me to talk about this because a lot of people have a bit of a misconception when it comes to when the economy is booming and everything looks good. You know, you still have to be prepared for the worst case scenario. And there was an actual example of a couple and their debt situation. And I want to talk about that briefly to, give you some insight on how it's actually hurting your financial future and what you need to do to tackle it so that you don't have to go through potential issues, okay? So let me know who you are, where you're from. Earlier, I was having issues with our actual program that I'm using for, to broadcast this. So if this feed drops, I do want to apologize. Worst case scenario, if it does drop, I'll make sure that I, go live first thing tomorrow. But I don't think we're going to have any issues, God forbid. But let me know who you are, where you're from. What we're going to be doing is getting in this topic very soon. I just want to make sure I get my information up really quick. And I'm also going to be sharing my screen with you to do some calculations so that you can see how dramatic this information is and why it's so important for you to take action as soon as possible, okay? So let me know who you are, where you're from. Where is it? All right, we got this. We got Gary Styles. I know this is off topic. Already, Gary? Already we just started. But you would like to get a time frame on how long a typical credit repair take. I just signed up with your company. Gary, typically average client will stick with our program for 6 months. Every credit situation is different, but if you're looking for ideal results, I highly recommend that you have a realistic time frame and maybe look to expect to be in the program or working on your credit, whether you're a client or not. Give it a good 6 to 12 months, and your credit score will be dramatically, and your credit report as well will be dramatically different than what it is now. But typically, average client sticks with the program for 6 months, and they'll see a 100-point credit score increase with each credit bureau within that time frame as well, as long as they don't allow any more derogatory information to hit their credit report. Okay, that's very important. Anyway, so we're talking about getting your financial house in order. Let me know who you are, where you're from. If you're just now joining me and you're new to the channel, make sure that you like this video and also subscribe. That's very important because the information that I'm sharing with you is going to help you transcend financially, and it's about you doing better with your finances. And of course, obtaining the dough chaser mentality. All right. So this article on the Wall Street Journal basically talks about how the U.S. economy is booming right now. Okay, despite the government being shut down for 10, 15 days. I don't know how long it's been shut down, but despite all of that negativity, the economy is booming. Despite the market dropping a few points, that the economy is booming, right? And they base that off of the amount of debt being acquired from consumers like you and me, right? And one of the key points that they were making is, the economy is doing well when debt increases. It's a sign of a booming economy. As people are acquiring more debt, that means that more jobs are being created, and more what is it called? money is basically flowing from hand to hand, basically. Okay. The thing is, all good things don't last, right? And there was one particular scenario that they gave, not a scenario, but an example of a couple who had a large debt situation. And let me just read some of the numbers off, okay? Um, and this is off of the article, the Wall Street Journal. I wish I could make this article available to you, but you do have to have a subscription. Um, let me see. So the average credit card debt in America is just above $6,000. I believe it's 6,800. Okay, um, and you know the peak was early 2000. When we had our uh, economic crash. It dropped, but now it's beginning to rise again. Right. People are buying cars. The average car, the third quarter of 2018, cost more than $30,000 for a new car. All right. Um, the average monthly payment, uh, 2014 was just shy of $500, about 470. The average payment now is close to about 520, 525. So uh, cars, costs are the cost of cars are rising. The cost of monthly payments is rising, and people are actually acquiring this stuff, right? Um, and one important situation is a particular company. They were out of Tennessee, and they basically gave the amount of debt that they owe. They owe $85,000 student loans, $38,000 in auto loans, and $16,000 in credit card debt. Okay, um, and my concern for this family is what's going to happen. God forbid, shit hits the fan. Are they prepared? Okay. And, the topic today is getting your financial house in order because you want to be prepared for whatever life may bring your way. And one of the things that a lot of people don't do is they don't really think about what, the what if scenarios. Everything is going good now, and they have that short term mentality, and they're focused on right now instead of worst case scenario, what happens a year to 5 years from now, right? Um, and this family is in a big hole and full of debt, right? And we basically have to think about, if I'm in this situation, how am I going to get myself out, right? And the thing that really surprised me was the amount of debt that they're in when it comes to credit cards. And when it comes to debt, student loans, mortgage, car loan, that's going to accrue simple interest, right? So basically, you're paying interest on the actual principal, the actual balance. However, with credit cards, that's compounding interest, right? That's interest on top of interest, right? And it's a way for companies to double their profits, triple, quadruple their profits off of consumers like you and me. And a lot of times, because life is good now, we acquire all of this credit card debt, all of this debt, we get deeper in the hole, and we're not thinking about, God forbid, what happens when I can't pay this bill, right? And not even necessarily paying the bill, but how much is this actually costing me, right? Um, and people who are a part of our community, Witness Riches, Don't Chase Your TV. A lot of you are looking to take your finances to the next level, and I don't want you to be in this situation. Okay, so what I want to do really quick is I want to break these numbers down really quick when it comes to the credit card debt and how crazy it can get, especially for this using this example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my screen, and we're going to calculate the credit card debt that they're in, and calculate future payments and how much they're going to eventually end up paying to get out of credit card debt, should that be one of their goals. And a lot of times, before I even do that, their goal is not even to get out of debt. Their goal is to keep living the good life, right? And it's important for you to really think about getting your financial house in order today rather than when shit hits the fan, okay? Because you don't want to be hit, in that predicament. So give me one quick second. All right. Okay, let me see here. All right. So I don't know if you can see me. Let me get a 1 if you can see me on the screen. I want to make sure that you can still see me. Let me know if you can see me. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down for you. Okay. So this couple, they owe $16,000 in credit card debt. Type 1 if you can see my screen. Type 1 if you can hear me. If you cannot hear me, if you cannot see my screen, type 2, please. All right, I appreciate that. Let me know who you are, where you're from. I see a lot of new names. So they owe $16,000 in credit card debt, and let's say, for example, they're paying $400 a month towards the balance. Okay. Now, the average consumer, they have about $6,800 in credit card debt. This particular family, they almost have 3 times that amount. Okay. And this is how crazy a lot of people's situation can get because they're not really thinking about the long-term effect. And I want you to see these numbers so that you don't, as you are working on improving your credit, as you're working on improving your credit worthiness, your finances, and you get opportunities to obtain a large credit limit, I want you to be careful because I don't want you to be in the same situation, and that's why I'm breaking down these numbers. So they have $16,000 of credit card debt. They're paying $400 towards the balance, all right? And the interest payment, let's say that equals 24%, okay? 24%. I think that's a normal number, 24% for their credit card debt. So basically, they're being charged 24% of the actual balance that they leave on their credit cards, okay? And when it comes to compounding interest, each month they have a particular interest rate that they're paying on top of that, right? So their monthly interest rate equals 2%. And how you calculate that is you take the APR, the 24%, 24, and you divide that by 12, okay? And then, of course, that'll give you 2. And then what you do is you divide that by 100, and then that'll give you 0.02, aka 2%, okay? So this is their monthly interest rate. Let me be more precise with that, monthly interest. All right. So this is where it gets interesting, okay? They're paying $400 towards their balance, right? Where's my calculator? Let me pull this calculator over here really quick. All right. Oh, you can't see the calculator. Give me one quick second so I can try to get this calculator going. All right, so you see the calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 16,000, and we're going to divide that by, or times that, multiply that by 2%, okay? So that's $320. That $320 is actually what is being paid for their interest payment each month, okay? So of the $400, $320 is going towards interest. Are you with me? So of the interest payment, that equals $320. Okay? So that means that though they're paying $400, when you subtract $320 from that, only $80 is being paid toward the balance. Okay? So if you're peeping this out, though they're paying $400 towards their $16,000 credit card balance, only $80 is actually being paid towards that, okay? And what we want to do is we want to calculate how long it will take for them to pay off this particular debt. Okay, so what we do is, let me go to the calculator. All right, we take 16,000, and we divide that by 80. Okay, it would take them 200 months. Okay, 16,000 divided by the balance, the payment that's being paid towards the balance, 80, 200 months. Are you with me? Are you with me? Type 1 if you're with me, okay? If you need me to explain that a little further, let me know. But this particular family, they're going to be paying $400 a month towards the credit card balance, okay? Of that balance, $320 is going towards interest and $80 is going towards the balance. So that means they'll be paying, it'll take them $200 months, okay? Type 1 if you understand that. Type 1 if you understand that. 200 months, okay? So what we need to do is, I want to share with you exactly how much their credit card debt is actually costing them, okay? So what you do is, you take 400 times 200 months, so $400 a month that they're paying. And you multiply that times 200 months equals, peep this out. Look how crazy this number is going to be. And this is what people don't calculate. And a big reason is they don't understand. So 200 times 400, $80,000. $80,000. Okay? So in order to pay this card off, they will eventually pay $80,000. Okay? And guess how much of that is interest? Guess how much of that is interest? 80,000 minus 16,000, $64,000 in interest. Now, of course, I don't have an amortization schedule, so the percentages, the monthly payment will decrease over time. But based off of this calculation, which is going to be very close, I may be a couple $1,000s off. It's going to be very close. $64,000. This family will end up paying $64,000 in interest for a $16,000 credit card. So that's the dangers of living in a booming economy, okay? Acquiring all debt, right? Living the good life, putting yourself in deeper debt, using up your credit card limits, maxing it out, and paying, the minimum payments that you need to pay on your credit cards, okay? You're killing your pockets. $80,000. How many of you can use $80,000? Jacoby, yes, exactly. 4 times the amount. So credit, especially credit cards, the credit cards, when you are using your credit cards and you're not paying it off month to month, you're not paying off the balance right away, okay? It's basically, yes, you get the credit, but the credit is the penalty for not having the money, right? The interest is the penalty that you pay for not having the full money, okay? The full amount of money. And what we want to do is we want to set ourselves up for success and take advantage of this booming economy, right? Instead of you acquiring more debt, more liabilities, how about we be more strategic? How about we, establish an emergency fund, right? Fix our credit, right? Because if this couple has bad credit and they're paying $525 a month on their car payment for 5 years, look at this payment. Look at this. Let me get my calculator. Pick this out. So they're paying $500 for 5 times 12. That's the balance, right? But let's say that they have a ridiculous interest rate. Let's say their interest rate is, oh shoot, you can't even see my face. Let me pull up a window. This is how crazy this stuff can get, man. This is how crazy it can get. Give me one quick second. One quick second. I'm trying to break these numbers down for you so you can see how crazy this is, okay? 20% on a $30,000 loan. Let's say this couple has bad credit, right? And let me see, 12 times 5. So yeah, 60 months, 5 years paying where is it? All right. So this example, let me see. So in this example, I'm showing you someone with bad credit, 20% interest rate for 5 years, 60 months, okay? For a $20,000 loan, $530 a month, average car payment, they're going to end up paying $31,000. That's $11,000 extra because of their bad credit. So this, what I'm trying to get to is, this is an opportunity. Instead of you acquiring more debt, instead of you acquiring more liabilities for yourself, and buying all the shiny things, this is an opportunity for you to get your financial house in order, right? Instead of you, living the good life, you can still live the good life, but get focused on preparing yourself, on preparation. Get focused on getting your finances in order. So God forbid something were to happen, you won't have to file bankruptcy. Okay? God forbid something were to happen, you can afford to pay your creditors. God forbid something were to happen, you can survive. And a lot of times, a booming economy, people are focused on buying things instead of actually building self-sufficiency, all right? And that's what it's all about. Being able to take care of yourself when times are hard. Of course, everything looks good. Of course, everybody's going to be living the good life. But I want you to be prepared, God forbid something bad were to happen, for that rainy day, okay? And I don't want you to be in a situation where you're paying 4 times the amount of the actual amount that you've taken out. That's stupid. But it's only stupid if you're aware of it. If you're aware of the stupidity, the stupidness, stupidity. If you're not aware of it, then it's not stupid. If you don't think it's dumb, it's a great decision, right? But outside looking in is stupid, all right? And I want you to make better decisions. I need you to make better decisions, because at the end of the day, in order for our communities to be uplifted, we have to do better, right? Let me look at the comments. Jacoby said, give me that 80K. Just tuning in for the first time here, so forgive me if I'm asking a redundant question, but if it wasn't mentioned already, how do you feel about velocity banking? Another day, another topic. Right now, we're talking about getting your financial house in order, okay? And one of the things that I need you all to focus on is, instead of the latest fad, focus on your foundation, all right? Focus on, do I have money in the bank to put into velocity banking, right? Can I even do that in reality, right? And a lot of people, not to point you out, Dwyer, but a lot of people are following the latest fads instead of actually trying to solidify their foundation. And that's basically what I'm talking about. It's important for you to not focus on the shiny things, but to focus on the boring things. So one day you can actually make those real moves. But a lot of times people are focused on liabilities instead of assets, right? And that's what the greater picture is all about. Yes, there's good debt and there's bad debt. However, nobody's investing in the good debt. The good debt is the good debt gets more valuable over time. The good debt you can actually make money from, right? And people are giving their money away, all right? And I don't know, man. It's just real important for you to understand this, okay? I apologize. What's up, Muriel? How you doing? Um, but yeah, it's just really important for you to understand this. I want you all to get your financial house in order, because what goes up eventually comes down, and I don't want any of you to get hit and not expect it. All right, I want you to be prepared for that rainy day because it is coming, and we all know it's coming, but nobody is preparing themselves for it. And if you are listening to me, if you take my advice critically, and you know, I just need you to get your finances in order so that you're not one of those people who are, who will suffer from, you know, financial turmoil. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, let me know who you are, where you're from. Marlon Parker, I'm trying to make sure that I have money in the bank, but just need a lot of help. Marlon, I would definitely recommend that you take a look at your financial picture and figure out what it is that you're wasting money on. And what I mean by wasting money on is we have bare necessities, right? And a lot of times we compare ourselves to other people and we feel like we deserve everything that everybody gets. And sometimes you have to act your wage and reduce your expense rate. And instead of getting cable, getting the latest cell phone, all these crazy things, maybe make a sacrifice so that you can save up some money to build up an emergency fund for yourself, put some money in the bank. And then once you're at a point where you're comfortable with that amount, then use the extra money, go get you some cable, man. But we focus on the fun things before we focus on the most important things, which are the boring things, the foundation. Solidify your foundation first and then go do the fun things. All right. Um, Take it from me. I was one of those people when I first started out my career. I bought me a Cadillac Seville sitting on 20s. Every time I got paid, my wife, okay, it wasn't sitting on 20s, but the rims were shiny. All right. Every time we got paid, we went to the mall, cashed out, but our foundation was not solidified. So bills, came around, and it was time to pay the rent. And Jason didn't have any money in the bank. You know, Jason was struggling, coming up with reasons why there wasn't any money in the bank to his wife, talking about, baby, I'm gonna get it next week, don't worry, right? And then we just repeat the same thing, and then we're living this paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, right? And that's a terrible way to live. You work your ass off, right? And it's time for you to begin to reap the benefit. But you have to focus on the boring things first, solidify that foundation, and then focus on some of the fun things. But a lot of people, their priorities are messed up. They're making money, and they're working their butts off, and they feel like, you know what, I'm working hard, so I need to go have some fun first. No, you're working hard. Solidify that foundation because you deserve that. You deserve a sense of security, right? Um, but hey, that's just me. Muriel said, I got a fire stick better than cable. I dig that. I'm not mad at it. Jacoby, a personal rule of thumb. This is a comment by Jacoby. Keep credit utilization down. If you have a limit of $2,000, try to use only $20 max a month. So yeah, 10%. Pay the whole balance before closing date. This helped me increase my FICO tremendously. Good tip. I appreciate that, Jacoby. But yeah, it's bigger than credit. Your credit is only a reflection of your financial behavior, and what we need to focus on is improving our behaviors. 1 second. Boop. All right. We improve our behaviors. We improve our lives, right? And it's great to have great credit, but if you can't maintain that, it's a waste of time. If you have great credit but you don't have any money in the bank, You fronting, right? And we don't want to front. We want to really have it. So we have to make better decisions, all right? And take advantage of this opportunity. While things are up, take advantage of this time, okay? Because things will not be like this forever. We know this. You've heard this before. You've been learning this your whole life. But how many of you are actually preparing? How many of you are ready? I'm not perfect. I don't have it all together, but I'm preparing myself, right? I don't want my family to go through that. You shouldn't want yours to go through that either. So make the sacrifices now. Get everything in order first. And then once everything is in order, then go have some fun. All right? I give you permission to have fun after you do the boring work. All right. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Just a general discussion tonight. Let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about credit card debt? Is it biting a new one in your wallet? Is it eating you alive? Leon Childers, thinking of signing up for inquiry removal, help due to not knowing that it brings your score down every time they check. Yeah, inquiries impact your credit score 10%. I want to be honest about this. 50, forgot the number, 55 points, okay? So if you can use 55 points, if you have a bunch of inquiries on your credit report, we offer an affordable inquiry removal program. The 700 Club, creditrepair.com/inquiry removal. Feel free to enroll in that program. We do have a 90-day guarantee, and our goal is to help you improve that area of your credit report if you need help. All right. However, the 5 components of your credit score are also important as well. So make sure you keep that in mind as well. All right. Jacoby, you got to do what you're supposed to do, so therefore you can do what you want to do. You can have your cake, ice cream, and cherries without the cup or the cone. I like that, man. I like that. Let me share that. Peep that out. Yeah, that was nice. Hold up, let's make that real. Look at that. Look at that. Jacoby, I got you on the screen, man. How you like that? That was dope. All right, so I just wanted to share some numbers with you to put some fire under your eyes because credit card debt is killing your pockets. And if you are someone who wants to get your financial house in order, highly recommend that you begin to put a big emphasis on eliminating credit card debt because it's not simple interest. It's interest on top of interest. It compounds daily, right? It's costing you crazy money. Take advantage of this time while the economy is booming. And instead of acquiring more debt, instead of getting in a deeper hole, work your way out on paying off your credit card debt, paying off your debts, building your emergency fund, getting your bills caught up, building a system for yourself so that you can improve your finances and get to a point where you feel comfortable. Peace of mind is important, right? But I don't know, we focus on the temporary wins. We don't get our peace of mind. And sometimes we lose sleep. Do not lose sleep because of your finances. Lose sleep because your bed sucks. My bed sucks right now. I think I got a terrible back, but that's a different subject. Anyway, I want to thank you all for your time. This was another episode of Dough Chaser TV. Hopefully you enjoyed today's discussion. If you did, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about me, learn more about our programs. We got links in the descriptions of this video, so feel free to learn more about our credit repair program, Transcend Financial Academy, and I appreciate you. Jacoby, great line. You got to do what you're supposed to do, so therefore you can do what you want to do. You can have your cake, ice cream, and cherries without the cup or the cone. I like that. All right. You all have a good evening. We will have another episode tomorrow. Where you are welcome. Maybe I'll make a video about the velocity banking. He said, but they said hip hop was a fad. I appreciate that. That was a slick comeback. I appreciate that. All right. You all have a good evening. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.